Power Rangers in Mighty Morphin. But then I learned that all of that and its origin comes from the comic books. And so I kept asking myself, and the fans were asking, what in the hell is canon actually? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers example. Oh God, here we go. The 1993 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series is the original and baseline canon. I can't argue with that at all. But wait, yes I can. Damn it. Between the films, I felt like they each stepped off a long ways from the series, which I'm going to call canon, my series. But I'm getting more and more confused on what canon actually means. Ah, it's so frustrating. So I've done quite a few videos as of late that really kind of cross into things I haven't really thought deeply about until now. Well, because I haven't had reason to think of them, I realized when I did think of them, I didn't have an answer for them because I was even arguing with myself as I was going through this. What's better in the movies world? Is it Superman gets his own movie, Spider-Man gets his own movie, full movie about just one of them? Or is it Marvel, DC, Guardians of the Galaxy smash up? What's better in TV? Superman the series? Or DC Marvel smash up? Power Rangers, this was a team sport. X-Men, this was a team sport. Who's the greatest? Who's the best? Who's the strongest? How do you tell? Is it strictly opinion? Like it just... But after reading and doing another video that I just did talking about fan commentary on the morphing grid, the legitimacy of it, is it canon? That was the question that really got my head going. I never heard of it on Power Rangers in Mighty Morphin, and I didn't hear about it until eons later when I came back and you guys started talking about the whole morphin grid and morphin masters. I was like, what are we talking about? But then I learned that all of that and its origin comes from the comic books, which clearly I have not read. Well, then I was like, well, okay, so they put it in the comic, does that make it canon? If they put it in, well, it's not the first comics, because the first comics were out in the 90s attached to Power Rangers. So this is like a later comic version. And so I kept asking myself, and the fans were asking, and everybody's confused on what in the hell is canon actually. So I decided to ask something that can go out and scrape the internet and is, as of now, somewhere between 70, 60, maybe 80% correct. And let's see what an AI search does. So here I am on ChatGPT, and let's see what is canon. Because if we can answer that question, and then I feel like we have a little more direction, assuming ChatGPT is even correct. So here we go. Canon refers to the official accepted storyline and continuity of a fictional universe as recognized by its creators or rights holders. It is the real history of that universe as opposed to fan theories, alternative versions, or non-canon spin-offs. Damn. I mean, they just lay it out right there. They just told us all that our opinions are not canon. I don't know how to feel about that. Damn it. Feel like my opinion matters. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way, right? But okay. Fictional universe as recognized by its creators or right holders. The side of my head that fights in the world of logic goes, I get it. After all, I'm creating my own thing at asjcomics.com. It's based on the series of Redemption. Like, I'm creating the canon right now. I own it, that's mine. So I get that side. But what if you're the guy who grew up halfway through a TV show or a series of films? My son, the first Star Wars movie he saw was like one of the 16th, 19th, 25th that was presented as the first 5th, 6th, or 28th. Like, I can't even keep that garbage straight. Like, how do you do that? So to him, what's canon? He goes on YouTube. What's canon? You know, did the Green Lantern, where did he get his ring? And how did his powers? And well, what, did the comics come from? Like, how do you know? Especially if you're a part of the younger generation. So, all right, now we have an idea. If you didn't create it and you don't hold the rights, then apparently our opinions suck. But let's read on. How canon evolves in long-running franchises. All right, I feel like we're in for another slap in the face here. Hold on. For franchises that have lasted decades, like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Batman, Spider-Man, Transformers, Star Wars, etc., canon becomes complex because you think, right? This is my whole point. Different mediums, comic, TV, film, novels, video games. I didn't even think about video games. A franchise may start as a comic, become a TV show, and later a movie. Each adaptation may add new characters, lore, or contradict previous versions. Welcome to Power Rangers. Reboots and, here's a word I've never even seen, retcons. What's a retcon? Okay, sometimes the original continuity is scrapped or modified. This can be minor, like retconning a character's origin. Retconning, so rebuilding, reconstructing maybe? Sounds reasonable based on context. Or major, like a full reboot. Okay, so I think we're rebuilding or reconstructing a character. For example, DC Comics' Crisis on Infinite Earths or Star Trek's 2009 film. Okay, so retcon. They're gonna go back and rebuild this character in a fashion that a new creator would find and claim to be valid. Does that mean the new creator just created the new canon? Is it the only canon, or are there now two canons? Are we filling up a battleship? What's going on with the canons here? I'm trying to figure this out. All right, so multiple timeline universes. Some franchises embrace multiple versions of their stories. Marvel and DC have multiverses, and Power Rangers has acknowledged different continuities over the years. But it didn't say the Morphin Grid. Okay, all right, we're on AI. It's not perfect. Legacy and new generations of fans. What is considered true for an older fan may not match what newer fans grew up with. Point in case. Thank you very much. But that leads us to the next question. Who's right? Ah, so frustrating. Okay, so what happens when something new is introduced? If a new element, character, event, etc. is introduced in an official product, does it become canon? There's another $1 million question. Yes, if it is acknowledged within the main continuity of that franchise. So this is full-blown contradicting the first definition it gave us for canon. What in the hell is going on here, people? All right, somebody help me out. All right, and then it says, no, if it exists in an alternative timeline, is non-canon, like What If, question mark, or Elseworlds stories. I've never seen either of those. What is that? Or is later overwritten by creators. Well, if the alternative timeline is a part of what makes it a no, then that just shot down every alternative timeline done by Marvel, DC, and countless other, I mean, everybody's doing alternative parallel universes. So none of that's canon, according to this? What's your interpretation? I gotta think on this. And then the last bit of the sentence, it says, or is later overwritten by creators. Now that makes sense to me. But it also doesn't, because first definition was if you created it or own it. So if a creator wants to go back and overwrite it, we're back to the same damn question. Is it new canon? Is it old canon? This is saying no, that's no longer canon, because what those creators wrote first is canon. This is like talking to attorneys or somebody who's smoking some good stuff, because well, you told me that 10 minutes ago. Were you right then or are you right now? All right, so I'm gonna read on. I feel like we're not gonna get any real answers when this is over, but let's see. Can something shot later, like a reboot or a sequel, redefine canon? Great question. I'm terrified to read the answer. Yes, if the creator explicitly declare it part of the official storyline. Which creator? The first creator?
You're gonna be mad back here, like,
yeah.
Who defines the creator? The person that then just sells it off to the next person, and then that puts it aside?
Like, you know, we know who shot the first movie and the second movie, and then the third movie, and now they're talking about another movie. So the last creator in the line can come on and write it, and then claim it's part of the official storyline. Well, I mean, I guess it is part of a storyline, but being part of a storyline doesn't make it canon. Damn it, man. I'm gonna read on. All right, so then it says, but fans may reject it, leading to debates about real canon. Thank you very much, i.e. where you and I are right now, damn it. So then that means that no matter what the original creator declared was canon, if Tommy Two-Face down here or Bocephus with his little doggy decide they reject it, well, now the creator's opinion and the owner's stock are now irrelevant to canon. Like, if all it takes is one of us to go, nope, then I guess it's not canon. Let me read the next bit. Holy hell, this is like untangling spaghetti. All right, generational differences in canon interpretation. Oh my gosh. We need a legal team for this. Maybe like 5. Fans who were around during the original release of a show, comic, or movie often see their version as definitive. That's this guy, 100%, absolutely. However, newer fans may consider later adaptations more valid. I get it. I don't agree with it. Ish, maybe, kinda, give me 5 minutes, because that's all you know. It's the first you saw, your first exposure, so that's gonna be canon for you. So I feel like those who saw the first ones are gonna live there. That's where I live. But I get why a younger generation individual who had their first experience would choose to live there. But I feel like I can read something written by a modern author on Seneca or Pythagoras and know that it's been altered and it's not exactly the same. So then what do I do in the world of research if I really want to know? I have to go back to the original writing, which can be really hard to do because I want to go back to what was canon, the origin of all the changes or morphs. Maybe some of you are like, no, I want to go back to the original. That feels right to me, but I'm just me. You got your opinion, and I would love, let me know, because this is ridiculous. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers example. Oh God, here we go. The 1993 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series is the original and baseline canon. I can't argue with that at all. But wait, yes I can. Damn it. Because Sentai in the 1970s was there first. But I could say, no, I can't. I can't even say, well, it was canon in 40 countries or 30 countries or however many damn countries it was all around the world outside of Japan, because that's what they saw first. Because then what I'm doing is I'm still shooting down the fact that I have to go back and look at Sentai because that's what got it started. And that puts me in line now with the newer generation who saw something first and says, that's canon. But then they went back and did research and looked at Sentai and Kamen Rider and all the backstory and origin stories of the Japanese building of the platform. I think where I'm landing on this is no matter where you saw it first or how old you were, so I'm going to say no matter when you saw it first in time, that of course is going to be your original opinion of canon. But I feel like there's a bit of denial in there where at me, if I don't go back to at least look at the original, whether I think it sucks, as my kids would say, Dad, oh my gosh, the graphics are terrible. Special effects based on what they're seeing now where the whole world can melt right in front of your eyes. Interesting concept, pissing me off, but we're getting through it. Next thing it says, later seasons introduced retcons. I'm still gonna assume, what is the definition of retcon?
Recon refers to reconnaissance.
Not recon.
A military.
Not recon. I know what recon is. Going to googly. Okay. Retroactive continuity. Got it. So, for instance, the death of Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle employed retroactive continuity to explain Sherlock Holmes' return in the adventures of the empty house after his death. So the artist or the original writer or the original creator then goes back to introduce more information. We see this in films all the time. Flashbacks. So if we had a flashback later on, it doesn't even have to be in the first film. It could be in later films and still lend more to the understanding of any character or story arc. So, okay, all right, got it. Later seasons introduced retcons like Zordon era continuity, multiversal theories, Power Rangers Hyperforce adding time travel lore. Wait, what? I didn't get the time travel. I'm a little jealous over that one. That's kind of cool. 2017 Power Rangers movie rebooted the origins, but it was never fully integrated into the main timeline. Completely agree with that statement. It felt like a one-off to me. And I feel like they've kind of done that with a lot of the films. The first one was really cool. Paul Freeman, incredible actor. The second one, they brought Amy Jo and I back. But between the films, I felt like they each stepped off a long ways from the series, which I'm going to call canon, my series. But I'm getting more and more confused on what canon actually means. So the 2017 film was never integrated in the main timeline. The Boom Studios comics. Now this is going to be a big one for a lot of you guys because a lot of you guys love these comics. I haven't read them, so I'm just going to read what's being said here and let you fire away. The Boom Studios comics expanded lore with Lord Draken and alternative universes, but do they overwrite the show's canon? Not really. More like an alternate continuity. That's interesting because that's how I felt about it since I started hearing about it. Correct me, I don't know. I feel like I've spoken to writers who have told me that it takes place in other universes, literally, in some of the storyline. Fire away on that. Let me know what you think. So, Boom Studios, not really canon, more like an alternative continuity. All right, so fans who grew up in the 90s might argue that anything beyond the original mmpr is an expansion, while fans from the 2000s or later may consider newer interpretations as valid or even superior. So this boils down to who you are and when you saw it, like when in the timeline since the origin of the show. I view everything after mmpr as an expansion, as a growth, as a morph into to something new and cool and exciting. But new would be the key word there. That's what I see it as. It's new. There's probably some of you who haven't even seen mmpr. Maybe you haven't. All you see is the new stuff, and that's what it is. Man, crazy. All right, so it goes on. So what defines canon across generations? Oh, geez. Okay. It just, man, you couldn't just give me this from the start? Okay. Number one, we're back to the same definition at the top. The right holders and creators determine official canon, but that doesn't mean fans will accept it. I don't even want to keep reading, but I'm gonna. If something is acknowledged in the main continuity and referenced in later works, it's canon. Tommy Oliver's legacy spanning across multiple Power Rangers seasons. Okay, so I can buy that part. I like that. Even number one makes sense to me right up until they contradict themselves with that, but that doesn't mean fans will accept it. I mean, I guess we all choose what to accept in our reality, right? I mean, that's a given. Okay, all right, number three, here we go. Here we go. Reboots, alternate versions, and retcons can create parallel canons. Some fans prefer one over the other. Okay, I mean, I get that. You like tomatoes, I like tomatoes, he likes potatoes. Now we're getting down to personal taste. Number four, fandom's opinion matters. If enough fans reject an official change, it may be ignored in future adaptations. How many films have we watched that happen in? Think about current films where they put them out and people are just like, hell to the no. And then it just quietly disappears and goes away. So while I feel like that's effective, I still don't feel like, no, I don't know. If the overwhelming fandom rejects a change they make to Peter Parker, then the big industry, they're definitely going to go and make changes because they want to keep selling you Peter Parker. So I can see that you have effective change there, but then we go back to definition number one, which says the right holders and creators determine official canon, followed quickly by, but that doesn't mean fans will accept it. Okay, here we go. Final thought, last paragraph. Are we ready for how many other contradictory places this is going to take us? Because I'm not. I'm actually kind of scared to look down and read this because I'm so confused. Canon is fluid, and franchises with long histories, especially ones like Power Rangers, often exist in a state of soft canon. Now we got a soft canon? Man. And don't even get me started on the jokes surrounding that comic, because I could just go on. So soft canon, where new additions tweak, expand, or even rewrite past events. Ultimately, each fan engages with the canon that resonates with them. And while there is an official version, personal nostalgia and generational influence play a huge role in what people consider their canon. Okay, so it lays out in conclusion, there is an official version. And this is the bit, if you're like me, that you're gonna fight over. Well, this isn't my opinion canon, this is the official canon. This isn't a soft canon, this is the hard one. I couldn't resist, I had to go there just once, just once. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like there's an official canon, but I completely understand as an individual consumer of film, TV, a writer of comics, a creator of my own right, there are times in all of these descriptions I fall on both damn sides. But if I had to pick one, I have to go with the official canon. I think I'm always going to go back to the origin story, and I will love and appreciate the evolution of timelines and storylines and characters and flashbacks to create a foundation to further evolve characters. I think all that's great as long as it's done with taste and care and a real absolute pulse on what the fans want. And I think this is the number one area that film in general, TV in general, most comic series in general fail terribly. They hire a bunch of writers, bring them into a room, and expect them to read the minds of 300 million American viewers, hundreds of millions of viewers around the world, and come up with what those guys and gals like, when they could just ask. And that's why I enjoy being here at Fanward, because damn it, that's what we do. Stay tuned for the next video. Much love.